So, today I'm not going to talk about a cause I want people to go out and help, or an organization I want people to look into or donate to. Instead, I want to discuss more of an arbitrary idea that has been present in my life and probably everyone's too. Is the idea of failure. So, failure, or actually just getting things wrong, encircles all our lives, some of us more than others. And the problem I'm talking about here with it is that our society embeds the idea that failure is the absolute worst thing that can happen to someone, and it should be rejected or avoided at all costs. And my argument in this is that we as a people create new inventions and evolve our society through building on previously wrong ideas. And with our current society's complete focus on pure success, the development of our world is being limited by things like schools and education which reject the ideals of failure. Now, as a premise, I'm not saying failing at things is an amazing thing and that people should go and try and fail at things. That's ridiculous. But you see, the thing is that no one ever gets something on their first try. Newton, Einstein, Galileo, these people revolutionized our world with their ideas. In order for them to come up with their theories, they had to go through hundreds, thousands of theories, each time building off their failures until they finally found something that worked. And I can imagine that everyone here can relate to this. We're all in physics, and I want to ask how many people have understood and mastered something on the first try? No one. It takes hundreds of tries and failures each time when getting a problem wrong, building off your discarded idea until you finally understand it. But the problem here is that in school, you're given the information you need to learn. In real life, ideas are created without guidelines. In the real world, no one has mentors guiding them through new inventions they're aiming for. We must synthesize them ourselves and use our old theories as foundations for our new ones. And this is where our society's issues start. Because of our society and schools especially, the image or idea of a thought being wrong is generally perceived as the absolute worst thing that could happen. And this state of mind causes people to throw out their unsuccessful ideas, restricting through their imagination to just what succeeds. Now, I'm targeting our school system here as the culprit because at school, we are taught from kindergarten all the way to college that getting something wrong and failing is the crux of disappointment. And this is done mostly by the ideas of grades and stuff like that, which really manipulates one's mind to focus only on getting something right, and not thinking outside of the constraints which are previously assumed. And this issue is only getting worse as school communities become more and more competitive, with college degrees becoming more and more worthless and the standards for success continuously increasing. And as a result of this, it can be seen that there are less and less revolutionary people popping up in our world. I mean, if you look at it, 100 years ago, there were thousands of people changing the world with their ideas, like Darwin, Einstein, Newton, Galileo, Pasteur. And the problem is not that humans have already discovered everything they can about the universe, but our school's constraints. This can easily be seen if you look at the few influential people present today. Elon Musk, known for his revolutionary ideas, was, when he was a child, not a top-tier student, as our society promotes. This pattern can be seen with most people who have influenced the world, both in the present and past, where these people are dropouts and terrible as students. However, unlike our community promotes, these people change the world as they reject the ideas of failure being an adversity. Now, I have a personal example also. When I was around 6 or 7, I first learned about how breaking molecules creates energy, and as a small child with a mind that bounced from place to place, I came up with many diverse ideas. As the idea of failure had not really occurred to me yet, and I hadn't realized that failure was bad like my society promoted. Now, with this wild mind and a lot of issues about car pollution circling around, also known as the Hummer, I came up with the idea of a car that used air to create energy from molecules. And I stuck with this idea and tried to evolve it. However, when I got older and took my first preliminary chemistry class, I learned that my idea was just incorrect and would never have worked, and if it did, it would have been really unsafe. And at this point, because the idea of failures being bad had been drilled into my mind, I discarded my idea and never looked at it again. And this happens all around the world. And it could be that some of these creative ideas that people idealize could change our world, but they are discarded because of our community's influence. Okay, now, I imagine that there are a lot of people here thinking in their heads, how are we going to change this? It's not really possible. And they would be right. There's not much that we can do about our situation. We structured our society around the idea of failure being an adversity, and there's not much that can be done. But that's not the point. You see, I'm not trying to get people to go out and single-handedly revolt against this cause, or against this idea. I'm just asking people to think, because thinking is what changes the world.